Okay, so there are a few things I didn't mention in the last video, so I thought I'd make another one. I'm going to tell you a few methods of spotting a modder. We'll start from the easiest and we'll go from there. The first and absolute easiest way to spot if someone is modding is if they disconnect within a few seconds of the game starting. Yes, there is a small chance that they were actually lagging, but given the state of the game right now, I wouldn't take that risk. The second method sadly requires you to mod yourself, but this can give you undeniable proof if you happen to be recording that the opponent is in fact modding. I went over this in the last video. Just look at the timer when you start the game and compare it to the real 5 seconds that we're supposed to pass. Keep in mind that just because the game starts normally after 5 seconds doesn't mean the opponent is not modding. An easy workaround is to disable the hack and enable it right as the timer hits 0, so right just a second as the game starts. So what other options do we have? Another big giveaway is the amount of spam attacks you get, because when you mod you get a lot more breakers than your opponent because you play a lot faster, so in turn you break and you send a lot more stuff to your opponent. Just take a look at this example of Broku sending 9 attacks in a row. So yeah, but usually you won't get extreme cases like this. But if you get hit like 4 or 5 times in a row, that's a pretty good indicator they are modding. Just think to yourself, given the amount of breakers you got during the game, there is no way the opponent should be able to send more attacks than the amount of breakers you got, right? Assuming you're playing fast, it should always be lower than that. This one might be hard to spot yourself, so it's always a good idea to record and then review the game afterwards with a more objective outlook. But now, there's also something called soft modding, which is a lot harder to spot because when you get noobs modding on like twice the speed, it's not that hard to spot. But if you play against someone who cranks it up to like 1.2 or even 1.1, you will most likely not notice it, especially if they only turn the mods as the game starts. So yeah, soft modding is a lot harder to catch and requires careful analysis of the recording. But at that point, if you lost, then it doesn't really matter as much because you've already lost your PO, assuming you've been wagering. So again, I don't recommend wagering in sword fighting right now. If you're a legit player, that is. I definitely do not recommend it.